Hello, hello, hello,
Hi.
Love Revolution beloveds.
Hi,
I am
Dr. Ross.
so excited. Christine
Mhm.
is here with me today, and y'all, you're in for a treat because her business is called the Wellness Navigator. Who amongst us does not need some type of help navigating our wellness, even navigating all the mixed messages? And so, Christine is going to be here and share with us how she leads with love, both professionally and personally. And also, Christine and I are relatively new friends. We met through our mutual friend Judy Kahn, but something about Christine and I, we just have immediately hit it off. And so I love your energy. I love your presence. I love everything that you stand for. I love what you're doing and the goodness you're putting out into the world. And so, Christine, welcome. It's a delight to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. And likewise, I am absolutely loving your energy and your message. And I just feel enlightened every time I'm with you. I feel more positive, more love. And we need so much of that in the world today. So I'm loving every minute I get to spend with you. And thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. So I start off these interviews with the same question. How are you showing up with love, professionally and or personally? And then from there it goes wherever it goes. And so I'll ask you that question, Christine, and then the interview will take us whatever direction we want to go.
You bet. I am very fortunate. I've been a nurse for over 30 years, and I got my daughter off to college and was able to focus full time on my wellness business. And what I want to do is help women in midlife create a brain healthy system so you can stay sharp, age with confidence, and enjoy your life, not fear aging. I mean, it's difficult as it is, but with knowledge and power and my support and navigating the big wellness world, I want to help people live the best life that they possibly can. So my years of nursing, my 10 years in health coaching, I really combine that expertise. And so I am just grateful for the opportunity to be off the floor of nursing and into the world of wellness full time, where I can truly dedicate my heart and my mind to my studies and to helping individuals, my family, my friends, the women at eWomen, whoever meets me wherever I go. I just want people to be healthy and to be happy and to care for their brain.
Yes. Okay. So,
So,
so your particular wellness navigator,
yeah.
I don't want to say starts and ends with the brain, but the brain is like I think for when I hear wellness, I think I need to eat better, I need to exercise, I need to meditate, I need to connect with others, I need to journal, I need to, you because you've mentioned brain several times.
Yes,
And so talk about how that is the focus and how that shifts the perspective of wellness.
absolutely. Well, your brain is the command center. It controls everything about you. It is miraculous. 70,000 thoughts a day, 24 hours a day. It is a well-oiled machine. And then somewhere along the way, it gets a little bit tired, a little bit clogged up with life around midlife, and it really needs a little extra attention to continue doing the miraculous work that it does. So I feel like if you start at the top and take care of your brain, then the rest of the systems in your body have a much better chance of doing well. So everything I talk about is holistic. It's getting to the root of the problems, and it is based on what you're saying, traditional nutrition, anti-inflammatory diet, movement that you enjoy, mindfulness, sleep, gentle detoxing, avoiding the things that harm the brain and doing the things that help the brain. And that's kind of the message I would like to share with you, is that I want people to fall in love with caring for their brain,
Yes.
because then it can care for you. And then everything sort of just follows suit. It's not perfect. It's not easy. We all have health challenges. It can be mental, it can be physical, it can be emotional. There's all kinds of things. But the best chance you have of solving those problems, treating them holistically, and feeling your best is when you are taking care of your brain.
Yes, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm
Okay.
going to I'm going to preface it by saying I do these things and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I am taking good care of my brain. And
Okay.
if you say Yes, that's good. I'm going to feel good. If
Okay.
you say it makes no difference, I'm still going to do them because I like them. But if you say it's
Yeah.
really contraindicated, then I'm gonna pause.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want you to know I love the New York Times games. So like Wordle and Spelling Bee and the little mini crossword. I love that. And then I love Sudoku. And I love sometimes I do solitaire, but now they have games on LinkedIn. And so there's one that's called Zip. I do Zip and Queen, and I forget which other one I do for that. And so are those truly helpful, or are they just kind of neutral, or are they harmful?
No, absolutely. Brain games are 100% helpful and they're one piece of the puzzle, and you're doing a great job.
Okay, good. Yay.
Yes, what your brain loves is new learning. So if you like games, that's fantastic. Somebody else might want to learn pickleball because that's hand-eye coordination.
Uh,
Somebody else might want to learn how to knit or learn a new language or learn how to play an instrument. It's basically learning new things that keep those synapses happening and more transmitters and just creating pathways that the brain can function better. Creating those new neurons really make all the difference. So the
mm.
games are an awesome angle and good for you.
Okay. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Well, I'm excited because I mean, I get a little, not exactly I'm more competitive with myself, but on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, that like depending on when you do it, it'll show up and it'll go, oh, well, you did this faster than so and so, but slower than so and so. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, at least I'm in the middle of the pack. They always put me in the middle of the pack. I'm never, it's never like ding, 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 you did it the fastest ever. So, okay. So that's good. That's
That
good.
is great. That's an excellent, that's winning, winning, winning.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know this next question, it is loaded. And so, wherever you want to land on this is fine. Like when people say to me, okay, I'm clueless about debt-free degree, where do I get started? I will always say, begin with the end in mind and tell yourself, I will earn a debt-free degree. And then you just put the steps into place. And so for you, when somebody says, I I have not had an intentional approach to brain health. I
Mhm.
have gotten to be this age, thank goodness, by almost by default. But like if somebody says, I want to be intentional about my brain health, I want to love my brain, what is your recommendation? Your first step, or you must eat this or you must avoid this or whatever it is.
Sure. Yes, it is obviously health and wellness is a multifaceted approach, and it's extremely individual based on what works for you, what you've done, your life experiences, where you're at, how much time and energy you have. So I think it has to be personalized. But knowing your risk factors is really where I'd start. That's not the fun, exciting part, but you honestly knowing your numbers and knowing your risk factors, knowing what the 14 different risk factors are for dementia, and evaluating those areas, and then creating a plan based on what your risk factors are,
Mm.
what you're able to do, so what your modifiable risk factors are, what's in your control, and then knowing what your unmodifiable risk factors are. And that's more like your genes,
Mm.
genetic predisposition, which is really only a fraction. And the studies and the research and all the excitement about brain health is that you're not stuck with the brain you have today. There are 14 modifiable risk factors and only two that are not modifiable. That's your
Wow.
age and your genetics, and if you have a severe head injury or something of that sort. But all the other categories, you can do better. And what you do today affects your brain today. So any good choices you make today are wins for your brain, but they also affect 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And I think that's a lot of times what people don't realize.
Yes, yes, yes. So knowing you said knowing your numbers, how do I find out my numbers? Is it like a blood draw, or like how do I get these numbers?
Yes. Well, you can start with the basics with your doctor, but knowing what your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, all those numbers, because the heart and the brain are very much connected, just like the brain and the gut are so connected. So what's happening or what's good for your heart is also good for your brain.
Okay.
So knowing that they're connected, if you have really high blood pressure, there's a blood flow issue in the brain, and then, on down the line. So knowing those labs, you can start with your doctor, Or I also recommend like a function health lab panel, which is, we could talk about that another time, but it's Dr. Mark Hyman's
Okay.
lab panel, and you can order that without a doctor online. And then they take over 100 different lab samples. They give you a full report, tell you what diet and what nutrition and what supplements go, and then they'll recheck them again in 6 months if
Wow.
they were off. And so you get your biological age, you find out if you have any heavy metals in your body, which can really affect your brain health. You can add on testing specifically for things that you have a genetic predisposition for,
Okay.
which would be if you have Alzheimer's risk in your family, or if you
Mm,
have cardiovascular risk or cancer risk. You can add on extra tests that are tailored to your individual needs or basically risks.
beautiful. Beautiful.
So that's the
But
basis, because then you know what you're working with, and then you're
right.
not just throwing wellness out there, because
Yes.
there's a lot out there, and you could do a million different things or take a million different supplements or eat all these different diets. But
Right.
truly knowing where your body is at today, then you
Yes.
can really tailor things specifically for you.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that's one of the points I really want to hammer home
Okay.
regards to you
Hmm.
is you do such a beautiful job at making it evident that it is 100% individualized. And I think so often people come in and they go, I'm a blah blah and I can help everybody with this one thing. And and like with debt free degree, I will say I believe everybody who wants to earn a debt-free degree that's entirely possible. And also for
Yeah.
every single student that comes to me, there's that many individualized plans out there for how you do it, because it is so individualized. And you do such a great job, Christine, in terms of messaging that what you offer is broad and expansive and also completely tailored to me, tailored to your client.
Hmm. Yes. So then when we know your risk factors, we're going to look at your wellness vision and connect to your why. That's the difference between willpower and success down the road is, what is your individual intrinsic motivators? Why do you want to age well? And that changes things, because if you want to retire and travel the world or move to Buckhead or
Yeah.
play with your grandchildren or go to games until you're 90,
Mhm.
whatever your why might be, that will motivate you a lot more than just to-dos, goals. They're all tied together, of course, but
Yes.
connecting with that internal vision of wellness. And it's a journey, right? It's not a destination. It's a lifelong commitment to
Yes.
caring for yourself. And I look forward to the day where whatever I do doesn't matter.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But that's a ways away, and I want
Yeah.
to arrive there. I want to arrive there feeling good and enjoying my life and having energy and staying sharp and being independent.
Yeah.
As a nurse, I worked for over 15 years in Alzheimer's and dementia and rehabilitation
Wow.
hospice. And so I saw what happens when you don't care for yourself or when it's too late. And so
Wow.
as part of my motivation is this, it started with fear. I don't want to end up like that. I don't want
Wow.
to lose my marbles or not know who my children are or not know what a bath is or not know what a fork is,
Yes.
or act completely, insane when I'm this cute little elderly woman and I'm trying to knock people's doors down with my cane.
Yes. Yes.
So that I took that fear and I've turned it into a passion and a love of trying to help people get on board with caring for themselves where they still can make these changes and that these changes will affect their future. So they
Wow.
can do what they want to do.
Wow. 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 And so for the audience watching, I hope you heard her say that she spent all this time in her early professional career helping people with Alzheimer's, helping people who are in hospice. And now she's taking every bit of that and going to the front part, an earlier part of our life so that we don't end up there. That's beautiful, Christine. That is beautiful and powerful and empowering. So who better to lead a wellness navigation than somebody who has spent all this time watching people who are at the end, that had they made different decisions, perhaps they wouldn't be there.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Wow.
That is it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is absolutely it.
When you know better, you do better, right?
Right. Knowledge is power.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. So what's your why? Is that what you were talking about? Like at the late stage, you want to just be spry and
Yes. Well, to be honest, first of all, my mother passed away at a younger age in
mm,
her 50s. Um,
wow.
She had me very young, and she was never really able to care for herself or her brain to be able to do the things that would help her to be better. And so, having that experience at such a young age, I knew that I wanted to be different. That's how I went into nursing. And I've always just wanted to be an advocate for my patients and for people and for health. It wasn't until midlife when I actually started to experience some of those symptoms myself. And so I've spent a lot of time studying the effects of menopause on the brain and our hormones and what happens during midlife. We can lose up to 30% of our cognitive function just because of the hormonal shifts. And
Wow.
I started to experience that. And as a nurse, it's kind of scary. You don't want to
Mhm.
forget. And so I would have systems in place, and it was mild, but the light bulb went off like, whoa, this is actually potentially going to happen to me if I don't pay
Yeah.
attention. Then I
Yeah.
do have some family history of Alzheimer's.
Uh-huh.
So I got tested, and I have one of the genes, the APOE gene, one copy, which makes me 2 to 3 times more likely to get Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then women are 2/3 more likely to get Alzheimer's than men.
Wow.
And so this all coming together sort of at the forefront, my childhood, feeling like I couldn't help my mom. And so being inspired to do things differently then, and then my experience with the elderly, and then now my personal experience. I think that we should all have, whether it be an Alzheimer's prevention plan, or if your risks are more cardiovascular or diabetes, whatever your risk factors are, that you create that wellness plan for your future so that you have the knowledge and the power within your control to
Yes.
to make those decisions and not fear what's going to happen if I get diabetes like grandma,
Right.
or I have a
Right.
heart attack, or whatever those
Right.
might be, that you have a plan in place and you already know you're doing everything you can within your, not crazy, I'm not talking out of control protocols or
Right.
like you have a basic plan, and maybe you have a specialist, or maybe you see a functional medicine doctor. You probably take some supplements. You eat well. I recommend the Mind diet.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that.
Yes, it's a combination of the DASH diet, which is for cardiovascular health, and the Mediterranean diet. It's basically an anti-inflammatory diet,
Okay.
but much research has gone into its effects on preventing cognitive decline and naturally losing weight. So
Okay.
I think most women, not all, but most of us appreciate the aspect of not only caring for your brain, but
Mhm.
helping get things in line so that you can naturally lose weight as well. It's kind of a double whammy, double win
Yeah.
at our age. So
Wow.
that's my recommendation for diet.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. And you have a wonderful daughter that you are now living for her, like able to give her um a different growing up experience than you had. And so you're reversing some of that. And I don't share this very often, and certainly not on something recorded. But my dad also died in his 50s. He was 57. And it was from the negative effects of alcoholism on his body. And so I consciously have made the choice. I just don't drink alcohol because I know that genetically I'm playing with fire if I decide to ingest alcohol. And so that's just a choice that I made. And speaking of Buckhead, there's one of our favorite restaurants. And I mean, you walk in and they're like, "Would you like some?" It's like sparkling champagne. It's not champagne. It's like something in a champagne flute. And
Mhm.
Mr. and I will always say no. And then like the hostess has asked, and then the manager sees we're not taking flutes to our table. Do you want some? No. Like we have to at this restaurant, we have to constantly say no.
Mhm.
And alcohol is so pervasive in our community as, this is just what we do that for some people there are some negative impacts. And so I think that's what your message is all about is yes, you've got this cacophony of stuff going on, but if you work with Christine, then she truly helps you navigate for you the best plan for you, which is maybe always going to be different than the best plan for the next person. And that's what makes you so
Yeah.
unique. I love it. Love it.
Thank you. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I I couldn't agree more. And, there are several aspects to health and wellness, nutrition just being one, but knowing what those are for you and making them sustainable. I think we chatted with this about at eWomen. I don't want to set you up with a program that you're not going to do because it doesn't work with your lifestyle,
Right. Right.
whatever that might be.
Right.
So that is part of it as well, is really, getting to know what's going to work for you and how we can hold you accountable and how I can support you. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. I want to support my clients because I want you to be successful in my heart of hearts
Yeah.
as a nurse, as a coach,
Yeah.
and as a friend and a partner on this journey. So I want people to be successful, and how can I help make that happen? And a lot of times it is having someone to listen to
Mhm.
or having that extra support system along the way. I had a client last week. She's like, "You're almost like a medical therapist." She's like, "But I know you're not a therapist."
Aw.
But just that, that paying attention to, like, she has, some family history stuff that kind of is scary to her. And we worked through that a little bit. And I've had a client whose husband had dementia and he passed away. And part of our work together was her grieving process, but me understanding dementia and being a nurse and then advocating for her and her health and her time in life to now care for herself because she cared for her husband. That's
Yeah.
a completely different journey than my 45-year-old client who's in perimenopause and is gaining weight around the midsection and is tired because the kids are keeping her up at night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is really a spectrum, but that
Yeah.
is my wish for people.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, love. So
Thank you.
how can people get in touch with you?
Excuse me. I sometimes choke if I drink too fast, so
Oh,
excuse me. I have a website. Mm. It is called thewellnessnavigator.com.
oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram as the Wellness Navigator. I am on LinkedIn as Christine Despres. Excuse me.
I don't know if I'm following you on Instagram, so I'm gonna go make sure I am doing that.
Great.
Yeah. So LinkedIn and then your website and then Instagram. That's great. That's
Yes.
outstanding. That's outstanding.
Nice.
Well, you are such a love bug, such a
Thank
delight. I literally could talk
thank
to you for the next 3 hours, and I don't
you.
know how many people would watch that interview, but you're like,
We would have fun. I know
yes,
that.
exactly,
We would have
exactly. Every
fun
time we're
together.
together, we have fun. So yeah,
Well,
yeah,
thank you for sharing about your dad. I didn't know we have that connection as well.
yeah. You just never know, right?
You never know.
You never know. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure I
All
do.
right, Love Revolution,
Okay.
beloved. This has been a Love Revolution interview with Christine Despres, and y'all
Thank
go check her out at the Wellness Navigator on Instagram. Find her on LinkedIn. Go check out her website. And until next
you.
time, beloveds, thank you for being a part of our mission of 8 billion people loving 8 billion people, one heart at a time. Thank you.
Love it.
Great, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye bye.